Hi everyone, welcome back to the House of Yoga podcast presented by Yama Yoga Active. My name is Gavi Kanani, I am your host and founder. Today is a very special episode because we are actually in the studio where I started off as a guest for Hamza's podcast. So today we have him on the episode and I'm really excited to have him here. Hamza, welcome onto the podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me, Kavi, and thank you for this drip actually. It's super cool and it's so comfortable.
You're welcome.
Super exciting to be here. When I entered this studio for the first time, I never thought I would be a guest so soon on another podcast. So thank you for that, and super pumped for being able to share more about my journey, my work, my experiences, and so much more to come. So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Really excited to have you. We are going to be speaking your journey in spirituality, but also how it intersects, clashes, and complements faith and religion, specifically Islam today.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as that, I want to talk about what it's like being a man in a relationship and in this society, having the gender expectations, how you adapt them, and how that is influenced by your spiritual and religious practices. So I feel like we have a lot to talk about and I'm excited. Before we get into that, we start every podcast episode with a meditation. So would you like to meditate together?
100%.
Okay, so same for you guys. If you feel safe to, you can join us for this 1 minute of meditation. You can start to close your eyes if you're in a safe space. You can sit upright and close your eyes and sit comfortably, noticing your feet. Start to observe your body. What are you in contact with in this moment? Are your feet on the ground? Are you wearing shoes? Maybe they're not touching anything. Just observe your feet. Notice your legs. Try to relax your back. Relax your belly, your hips, your chest and your shoulders. Let the shoulders relax. Let your arms relax. Let your hands, your fingers and thumbs soften. Relax your neck, jaw, and all of your facial muscles. Opening the mouth ever so slightly just to relax your tongue. And just take a little check in with yourself. How are you feeling in this moment? In your physical body? Is there any tension anywhere? Notice your heart rate and your breath moving through your body. How is it making you feel? And how are you feeling mentally, emotionally in this moment? Just being honest with yourself and bringing that question back to yourself. How are you? You're so able to ask everyone else that question, but when we be honest with ourselves and reflect it back to ourselves, sometimes we realize that we haven't checked in for a while. So just have a real good check-in in this moment. And then let's take a deep breath in all together. Inhale through your nose, fill up your bellies. And a big sigh release. And then if you feel ready to receive information, you can slowly start coming back to this room or space that you're in. And we will start today's episode.
Thank you for that. I'm grounded.
Good, me too. Hamza, how are you feeling right now?
Amazing. It's been a couple of weeks transitioning through life. I think the basic challenges that every business owner and stuff faces, but super grateful for having that, because as I always tell you in our conversation before also, when you wish for something and it does come true, learn to celebrate it. So yeah, and super present now after your meditation to sort of take on whatever questions that you have for me, and hopefully I can do my best to kind of bring it out to your audience.
Awesome, thank you. Do you want to first start by telling everyone what kind of things you do? Because I know, but I think it's really a cool combination what you're offering right now.
Okay. Very early on, I realized that in life, I have one major focus, which is to try everything that I can in the short span that I have. I think time is limited. And the minute you realize that, you'll be ready to explore and do whatever you can, just make the jump and leap. I started out very early on trying a lot of internships right out of college, and always interested in marketing, business, entrepreneurship, all that stuff. But while traveling for 4 months in Bali last year, I realized that there's a bigger spiritual calling where I need to integrate my work also. So I need to get my marketing skills, my online business coaching skills, and bring it to healers and spiritual coaches and also everyone else in the world, and basically help them. I'm very big on building freedom businesses, which basically means your ability to work on anything that you want at any time from anywhere. So all my focus in this year has been that, and we have been able to successfully build that for ourselves and all our clients also. So that's the major part of it professionally. An aspect of personal and more spiritual, been doing men's circles in Mumbai for guys to come and share and be vulnerable. A lot of aspects of movement, intuitive flow have been an important part of my life, just to heal and also express myself. So whether that's ecstatic dance or, animal flow, acro yoga that I practiced in Bali for the first time, which was one of the best experiences of my life. Just that kind of stuff. And yeah, just trying new things. I'm a cafe hopper that I call myself. So I just take my laptop and move out, and the first nice rated cafe I find on Google Maps, I go and sit down for a couple of hours and work from there. So these are some hobbies and passions that I have. But at the end of the day, for me, the main goal with everything that I do is to feel super fulfilled within myself and help everybody out who kind of is maybe 3 years back in my journey, as I always see it. So the new coaching program that we're building in, which is we're calling it 1 hour Mondays, which is around how you can build a business for yourself where you can work 1 or 2 hours max a day and have all the systems in place and automation in place to do it for you, so you can spend more time doing the things that you want to. Right, and in a read, this happened yesterday. Nikhil Khamar did a podcast with Elon Musk, and he said that work is going to be optional in the future, and the way we see and the systems that we're building every day is taking us through there. And I think that's fabulous, right? So yeah, as I said earlier, the goal is going to be able to explore as much as I can through this journey.
So okay, if work is optional, if it's going to be optional in the future, what would it be that you still do if, say, let's also say we just remove money. We remove ego in terms of fulfillment. What would it be that you'd give?
I have a couple of opinions on it. So my first one is, when you say work is optional, I feel like work is basically going to be leveraging your skill or something that you love doing and being paid for that. So for me, my business doesn't seem like work any day. Like me talking to you, in a way this podcast is work for me, but it's not work for me. So stuff like that. And I also think we're going more towards community building and that kind of stuff. So maybe you you go to Bali tomorrow and you're working out a hostel for barter deal of staying and having food, right? And I think more and more people are getting conscious towards stuff like that. So community building is becoming a big aspect. 18-year-olds today who are financially free, sitting in their dorm room in maybe Canada or the US and building that life for themselves where they don't have to work for money anymore. So I think all of us are moving towards that as we get more and more aware and conscious, and we understand that there are certain systems that if you can take and replicate for yourself, based on a skill that you know, try leveraging it, right? So tomorrow you can make yoga a skill that you can do from any part of the world, which you're already doing. And you can make money through it and live an amazing life in Mumbai, right?
Exactly.
So just, I think following those first steps is going to make that happen for you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel I received this advice that you shouldn't just go and do a yoga retreat. Go and do a training. So then you have the skill and you can share it versus just going for yourself. So any kind of thing that you're interested in, like say football, let's say, like don't just go play the game. Learn how to maybe teach it or to, you know, like just having these skills that you can take anywhere. I think it's such an amazing thing to tap into. And yeah, like you said, like for me, luckily it's taken me to 4 or 5 different countries that I can live in and teach it in. And also teach it online, which is just amazing. And I also don't see it like work. I also find this freedom, not necessarily just financially free, but time rich as well. And that is such a nice feeling. Like I really have control over my time and I enjoy every single day. I was realizing that lately, like, yes, Mumbai life is hectic and the traffic is like, you know, right now the air pollution is just awful. But do you know what? I really feel like career wise, I feel so fulfilled. I really get to do every single thing that I want to do. And that's an amazing feeling. So I think we're all working towards some kind of freedom in that, right?
And a little add-on to that is this thing that I learned when I was maybe 21, and it's the one thing that I tell everybody, even like all the people I work with, is the day you switch over from being a consumer to a producer in every aspect of your life. So let's say for yoga, right? As you said, like go learn it and then teach it rather than just keep going for yoga retreats and doing yoga. It's a great practice, but what I'm trying to say is potentially you want to become a teacher tomorrow. When you switch from the consumer mindset from seeing yoga videos to making yoga videos, that's when you'll make the jump in life.
That's really great advice. And I think you're a teacher in many different ways, actually. What is it that you teach and how do you make people feel? What kind of conversations do you have, let's say in the men's circles?
Okay, so specifically, so there are a lot of aspects I've had to have this role in my life and it's super fulfilling. It's been the most fulfilling in men's circles, to be honest. So a couple of years back, while transitioning to life and really understanding what I want to do, I realized that something that men need to work very early on is their emotions on. And from perspective that if you do understand them, you can do wonders with your life. And also vulnerability and all that comes into the picture. But from that perspective, I basically like shot up like a WhatsApp group within a day. I added all my gym bros in it who come and like pump testosterone. And I'm like, hey, behind this tough personality is a little child, you know? So I got them together and I'm like, hey, I'm testing something out. Just come and join me. You don't need to commit to it, but just come for one experience and see what it feels like. And I came to realize that all these 5-6 guys who did come and met at like a cafe in Bandra on a Sunday at 7 p.m. had all like the same common problems, you know, in their life and the same stuff that they weren't facing that was holding them back. Because we've not learned to connect these subtle signals to the actual stuff that's coming up for us, whether that's anger, jealousy, frustration. It's all connected to some emotion or something at the background. So we spoke about that, and in the first meeting, people opened up so much about like the details of their life with guys who they might have met once or twice, right, in the gym. So that was like a ticking point for me. I was like, hey, I need to like pursue this. So we started doing it more. We did like 11, 13 chapters around where we got these guys to talk about all these emotions. For me as a teacher, the role was very simple that, hey, I'm not an experienced therapist or a facilitator for this job, but what I'm going to turn up as is a friend. So I sat there setting really basic rules that I got from men's circles that were happening online. So I took those rules down, read them once, understood what was the core theme of having a men's circle, tried to sort of ease that down for someone who has nothing to do with men's work, put it in front of them, said it as like, that was like basically I copy pasted it in the rules of the group. So they all read that and I made printouts as well for them when they came in. And I tried to navigate through it. It was challenging in some situations because there's a very fine line between men's work and bashing everyone else for the stuff that you need to own up to. So that was the main point where I was like, hey, stop here this is going into a very different zone, you know. That's where the teacher came in. But otherwise, then that I think like when you just put guys together, they automatically open up. That's what I felt.
Right.
So I think it was more about just letting them be and then just guiding them or directing them, where I thought like it's going away from talking about what you're feeling or the I and focusing on everyone else.
That's really interesting, because I also sometimes host women's circles. It just creates such a nice space.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you have that intentionality, people already, like you said, open up. I wanted to ask you specifically about men. What do you think is the future for men? Because obviously there's a whole like role that society has built around men being the provider, men being the caretaker. But now there's also women stepping up, and we can also provide a lot of things for ourselves. What do you think is the future for men? And also your personal experience in balancing whatever you see as masculinity and femininity. How would you describe that?
Wow. This is like this question would require an entire podcast, maybe 3 episodes. But I'm gonna share my own personal experience. This is solely coming out from what I feel, and if someone feels otherwise, yeah. But I think what having different spiritual experiences, what doing men's circles has taught me is that our perception about masculinity is very different in different aspects of life, whether that's work and your relationships, as to what your partner requires. Like everywhere, like it can be twisted and turned to your own benefit, is what I've realized, right? So I always feel like when that's the case and the exterior world is giving you different reasons, look within. And that's what I've done on most of like the journeys I've been on, is whenever I've looked within, I've been like, hey, morally, as to who I am, if I do this particular action, what would that lead to, or what would that make me feel, right? And I think therapy for sure helps in this entire thing of just you processing what you feel. I haven't been for a lot of sessions, to be honest, but whatever those couple of sessions did for me was so life-changing that I would recommend it to anyone. And it should be seen as something that needs to be done so that you can jump into the 2.0 version of yourself and don't see it otherwise, or the stigma that people have around therapy. So that way, use it to your benefit. I think I'm a better business person, a better boyfriend, a better son, because of those sort of aspects that I learned through it. So that is number one. Coming back to the same question, I feel like true masculinity will be when you're honest with yourself, and then you become a pathway for everyone around you, whether that's making your partner feel safe, whether, as I said, being a good son, being a good friend. It's all about what you feel is right, and then acting upon it, taking into consideration everyone else around you, if I can make sense to that. But yeah, as I said, lot of different aspects about it. The more you read about it, the more men's circles you go to, the more you research about your own patterns, your own archetypes, you'll start revealing certain things in yourself that you were hiding. And then your job is to take those things and start working on it. If I can put it in a very simple way.
Yeah.
But we'll do a series on it. Maybe I'll host you.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a really important discussion that men need to be having.
100%.
Because there's so much previous shame about men feeling emotions and expressing them.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable, being sensitive. But that is a huge part of every being. And I don't think it's a gendered thing.
Yeah,
and I feel that, I was going to say it varies per culture, but I actually don't think it does. I think there's just a universal kind of perception that
Correct.
men need to be the strong ones all the time. And I also was wondering, like, do you just ever get tired of being like the provider, the caretaker? Because I sometimes feel that for myself, like I'm doing that for myself. And I'm just like, I just want to retire already. I want to go back home and like just retire, but I'm in my 20s, you know? Like, do you ever feel that you're just like, I'm done for a bit?
I'm going to be honest, I think I'm on the path to being there. I'm not there yet. And that's also because I come from an Indian household.
Wait, can I interrupt? Sorry.
Yeah.
The path to retiring?
No, the part to, I would feel like being the caretaker, the caregiver, like the masculine lead, but also retiring. I want to get there soon. Like in my vision board, like it was like 26, I'm 27, so it's not happened, but I have this urge that it's going to happen by 30, where I'm going to like just
Retire?
disappear from the face of earth. Like I'm gonna close all my social media accounts and you'll find me somewhere like in Peru, like in a forest or something. Like that's just the feeling I have. Like pack a bag and I'll be out for like a couple of years and then come back a different man. I don't know. It's just these visuals that I get. But anyways, going back to the question, I think I'm getting there. Also, the reason I feel like in an Indian household, if you're like the son, right? There's a lot of pampering that's happening around you. Like your parents are taking care till you're that age of leaving home, right? And even when you make that decision, your parents are like, hey, my God, our son is leaving a house, like, okay, starting a family of his own, or he's, getting there. So I'm still building my own business. I'm still, I feel like, to be honest, under the shadows of my dad in a way. So I'm learning that there are certain responsibilities that you're going to have to take. It's showing up in different ways, like for my relationships, of course, where I feel that's the case. I feel there's a need for me to kind of show up more, to maybe sort things out or come to conclusions, which is a pressure, I would say. But again, it comes down to great communication, how you work with your partner through it, how you work with your parents through it, how clear you are in your own mindset. So yeah, there are a lot of ifs and buts, but it can get pressurizing is what I'm saying. But again, as you said, it's not a gender thing. I know that many amount of girls who tell me the same thing every day, like my friends. So
what do they tell you?
That, we're feeling the pressure, they're away from home. Someone like you, right? Whenever they fit that sort of image of yours, like, or that bracket where, hey, they're away from home, building a life of their own, that masculine aspect that they're craving in their life, of that guy to fulfill those other needs that maybe they can't fulfill themselves. Not talking about money or having a home and stuff like that, just the caregiving part. They're struggling with the same thing because they have to show up for themselves emotionally also. So there.
Yeah, I do feel like we're whole humans on our own. Like it's not two halves coming together.
Correct.
But it's just nice to have that.
True.
It's like a blanket around a whole. Like, you support each other. And sometimes I do miss that. But I wanted to then speak about the practice of Tantra because I feel that is really also misperceived, especially in the West. I have read a little bit about it, but I also don't know tons about it. And I know that you have a background in it. Would you like to explain to our listeners and viewers what Tantra is?
100%. Again, this is going to come from all the experiences that I had doing Tantra festivals or going for workshops when I was traveling in Bali, right? So, an Indianized perspective, I think there are some great coaches, and I said this last time on our podcast also, who are like doing some amazing work in it. And I wouldn't only make it like, hey, there are Indian people. I think all around the world, there are people misrepresenting what it means and are getting people in. Like something that also from a marketing perspective, I've been seeing a lot is like they really like, they promote visuals or they promote like videos and things that would invite the wrong kind of people to come for Tantra, which I think you have to be really careful about when you're taking something so ancient and like trying to modernize it and bring it to people. So going to the point is that it's very circulated around sex in today's time, which is flawed because when you talk about it in that way, then you'll attract that kind of audience, as I said. So when I went for I'll talk about my first ever Tantra festival, my mindset was very different. Like when I jumped into it, I was like, hey, I don't know what I'm getting into, but let's see. And as I said earlier when I was speaking to you, my parents had a huge role to play in it, as they gave me that freedom at 21 to go and explore, right, when I was in their shadows, to go for something like that. And it's been life-changing because I realized that everything, as you said, that you want is within yourself. You don't need to find it outside. And Tantra taught me a lot of aspects about that. And it's about really celebrating the masculinity and femininity that we have, both our sides, right? The yin yang, identifying where you need to bring what. After Tantra, it made me realize that when I own the feminine side that you have inside your body, you can turn up way more creatively at work. You can get a lot of things done that your masculine messes up, where they complicate it. They talk about strategy. Hey, so much needs to be done. When feminine teaches you, hey, just flow with it and everything will get sorted. Yeah. Right. So that's the beauty of it, talking right from all the other aspects. And there are certain practices like, conscious eye contact or sacred touch, consent. These things are certain basic things that I feel like there should be, like how there's sex education, there's to be like Tantra education in schools.
Yeah. Or it should be part of that.
Or that. Yeah. And, when people understand those basics of it, life becomes so beautiful in really aspects, and you'll stop triggering people around you who you didn't trigger before, like who you did but unintentionally were triggering before. You'll stop doing that, and you'll truly understand as a guy how you need to show up for the women around you, everyone, your mom, your sister, your girlfriend, your wife. It'll start showing you the path of turning up in your true masculine for them. So my recommendation is like go with a very clear intention of what you want to bring out of it. For me, it was to feel more self-fulfilled. Like when I went into it, I felt there was this void, and it taught me that there's so much within, and it brought up this emotional side of mine that is so powerful. Like all the guys I meet time and time again, it's like, hey, the day you learn to sort of win over what you're feeling inside and you can bring it out into your work, nothing's going to stop you. You want to make money, you have a 10,000 USD business, you want to make it 100K, learn how to work with your emotions. It'll change the game for you. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Tantra. I love you.
It's so nice. I don't know if you guys are feeling the same, but to just witness a man who is in touch with both sides.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've come across many men who are really comfortable with talking about therapy or being in touch with their emotions, but also seeing the value of that and also being a masculine provider as well. Now, we've spoken about Tantra. Also, I want to see, how does that impact your faith? Because we've spoken a little bit about your faith before, your relationship with God. How do they clash with each other, but also complement each other?
So I'd say that I come from an Islamic background, but it hasn't been so deep rooted into me. My parents are more, I would say, lenient when it comes to that. Like my mom has tried and embrace all the basics of it, like fasting 30 days in Ramadan, or doing 10 days of Muharram, or trying to pray like 3 or 5 times a day. Like even when she listens to this podcast, she's going to be like, you said all this, but you don't do anything. But what I'm trying to say is, like I fast 30 days still. And sometimes it's like, when I think about it, I'm like, hey, am I doing it from free will? And I don't. But I've come to realize that some things that you can just do to stay connected to culture, right? And it fulfills you in some aspects, irrespective. Connecting that to my spiritual journey, I think it was difficult from the perspective, like its teachings, very different from the stuff I've experienced. So if you go to Bali ever, like they follow Hinduism full-fledged. So when you go for their ceremonies, or you even go to like someone's birthday, they do like a proper puja where they have all the gods. And I have so much knowledge about like Hinduism and, mythology and all of that now with all my travel, right? I know everything about it. I have watched podcasts on like Shiva and all the other gods. Like I know what's happening, right? So it's like you're meeting someone who has this background and does this and is talking more about this sometimes. So it's very, very confusing. It's been for everyone around me also, but to the point that, again, you got to understand what you want to take from life and what benefits you. As simple as that. Don't put yourself in this boundary of, hey, I'm Islamic, so I can't do this, or I'm doing that. And you know what the beauty of it is when you learn to sort of embrace both. Like I do this as well. And on my journeys, when in a puja, someone will give me prasad or something like that, I am like free will. I do everything possible. I go for Ganpati every year to my friend's house, and I've also been to the Visarjan like 12 or 13 times. Wow. So you can do everything, and you can take everything that you want from life, and it's for you to decide. No one else decides that for you, what you take from it. And the beauty of it is when you make that decision, everything right starts to attract towards you. I would recommend everyone to like just explore. Like comes back to the first topic, right? Being able to explore everything that you can.
Yeah. I just want to say I love how Mumbai celebrates so many different religious festivals. Yeah. It's not just from Hinduism, but for example, when it's Eid, the whole like all the streets are just full of people celebrating as well. And I love, like, obviously it's a massive city with millions and millions of people, but it's just really nice to see a place that, of course there's a lot of stuff going on politically that is different, but difficult, but it still celebrates people from all walks of life.
And the good part is you get like so many holidays. I feel like we have more holidays than working days.
Oh yeah,
because of our festivals.
It's crazy. If you want holidays, come to Mumbai. Okay, just one more question about Islam. Like, is there anything that you feel is one like really nice takeaway that you've had from, aside from the rituals, just from learning about religion? Actually, it doesn't have to be from Islam, from any kind of religion that you've studied or experienced, not necessarily on a cultural or ritual level, but like, what would you say is something that you've taken away? Because obviously yoga has different elements to it too, which are the yams. And one of them is around truthfulness, which is called satya in Sanskrit. And the whole thing is it's in the name of it. It's all about truthfulness, about how we can not only be honest to ourselves, but to other people. And I also just want to link that to the clothes that we're wearing.
Yes.
It's called Yama Yoga Active, and the whole thing is focused around the yams. So these clothes, by the way, they don't support child labor at all. They are completely recyclable. They're made from fibers from a tree that is so soft. I wish you could feel them, but like complete transparency. And I just wanted to see like maybe this value of satya or anything else you've learned from religion. What would you say is like one takeaway that you could maybe share with us?
Okay, so this is going to be a little very specific, and this thought came up because I was talking about all the things that I do, like in Islam. I'm going to connect it to that, and my mom's going to also be very happy when she sees this podcast. Is that during 30 days of Ramadan, I have a lot of friends, including me, and over the years I realized that every time it was coming, like the 30 days of we would always think about, hey, like you have to fast and I'm going to have headaches and it's so hot, and people come up with so many reasons for not doing it. But when you truly go down to the depth of it and understand, which I've started to now, and that's the reason I do it, you know how like intermittent fasting is something that everyone's like kind of popularizing. It kind of is like intermittent fasting.
Right.
So when I really thought about it, it comes down to like your mind and controlling your mind. Right. And I think that's the beauty of everything in life, is that when you have a lot of control about your inner self and the things you say, the stuff that you do, how you impact people, that's at the core of everything. And that's what 30 days of fasting taught me. And it's very connected to that, because when I realized that, there is this threshold which after I pass, let's say I'm fasting first 5 days, 6 days, it's very uncomfortable. Even like in Paryushan and stuff like that in Jainism, right? When you fast. So it taught me that self-control, really understanding, controlling the mind and understanding what it means on a deeper level can take you really far in life, and you can imbibe that in all other aspects as well. Right. And it's connected to Satya in a way that, again, it's about being true as to what you feel and doing what you feel from within. So yeah, I think 30 days of fasting taught me a lot about my mind and its control.
Yeah. I really love whenever any of my friends are fasting for Ramadan, it's such a beautiful journey that they go on. And I think it's such a amazing thing to devote yourself and to, I think it's like you said about control, but it's also about detachment of indulging in things, and you do it for a higher purpose as well, to then get the truth more clear and apparent to you. Like I feel not only do people fast from food and water, but also from, maybe they have goals. Like one of my friends, she decided she wasn't going to curse anymore. And like, there's lots of different things. I feel like it's not fully understood as well, what it's about. Yeah. But what it leads to and the whole journey is something so beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got it.
And then one final question. So we've spoken a lot about different things today. We've spoken about Tantra, we've spoken about relationships, emotions, being in balance with your masculine and your feminine. We've spoken about religion, so many different things. We did speak a little bit about your business, but I just want to come back to that one more time. So you help people who are healers like me and in any kind of healing realm to grow their businesses. Can you explain a little bit about how you would work with somebody, and also give 3 of your insider tips to anyone watching? Like, how can they actually make what they do a sustainable business versus something that they love but they feel guilty about asking money for and is not actually helping them live their life, but it's a side thing? How can they make it into something full-time?
Wow, I'm so happy you asked that question. So yeah, I'm gonna try and break it down. So to start with, been helping healers and spiritual coaches mainly for the longest time, but I just have a higher calling to go wider. and help everyone who has that kind of problem or is facing that. So that's number one. If I had to talk about 3 things most essential to make that shift, number one, you have to understand that you need a lot of clarity in life. Like we say we want to do something like, hey, tomorrow I can have X person come and tell me that, hey, I want to become a vegan chef and I want to share my recipes with the world. But there's more to that. Like you need more clarity as to what you really want. So I would say like whenever you have a thought of starting a business, just take a paper down and write down everything you think you want to do. Whether that's launching your own PDFs or ebooks online, or whether that's creating your own digital course, or whether that's doing high ticket coaching, which is like one-on-one consulting, right? Where you can charge the most, or whether you want to do webinars or retreats, like what is it that you want to do? Really note down, right? Hey, this is my top priority. I want to start with this. That's number one. Number two is that you have to understand you can't build a business in 2025 and now going into 2026 doing everything yourself. So you need to use technology, AI, automations in places where you need to start leveraging technology for the right reasons. For example, for someone that can be like, hey, I do my one-on-one calls with my clients to give them utmost clarity. And then everything else is systemized for them to just do with the systems, right? Whether that's like email marketing or sending products to your clients through email. Like these are basic things in business that when people come to me, they don't have sorted. This will give you the time to sort of detach yourself from the day-to-day stuff that you doesn't require you anymore because there's technology, and really focusing on the transformation that you're trying to get for your client. So number 2 is systems. And third, I would say just make the jump. Which basically means is that we overthink. Like I have friends who've still not launched their businesses since, like who are talking to me like about it since school. So you can know like the time period that has passed already.
Yeah,
and
you're
make
really
that
old
jump.
now.
Yeah, and they're great at what they say they want to do. You know, that's the point. We're very, very critical about ourselves because we don't have the self-belief to help others. So like this happened to me, like I was so much into fitness. I used to do calisthenics, and a friend of mine lost a lot of weight just working out with me every day. He had like 6-pack abs at the end of 6 months, right? Now, when you can take someone through that journey, you have to understand that you can also monetize that online in the right way. Whether that's creating a program of your own or, you know, helping people one-on-one and charging for that, obviously. So you got to understand that self-belief is not going to come like from evidence only, it's going to come from confidence. So you're going to have the ability to put yourself out there first and then expect money and clients to come in. By just sitting at home and believing or manifesting that it's going to happen without you taking any effort, it's not. So those are the 3 things I would say.
So we have clarity, having a clear
systems,
and just taking the leap.
Yeah.
And to the people that are scared of taking the leap, what would you say to get them out of that perfectionist mindset?
What are you scared about is what I would ask. So this happened with me is that for me, it was putting myself out there, judgment. But then when you think about it, tomorrow when you do build your 100K, 200K monthly business and you're living the life of your dreams, going for retreats and doing everything that you want, is their judgment going to matter? No. So it's about like, what are you fearing? Really addressing that first. And as I said again, taking the leap is we humans start taking action when we see proof of that. So I can't see myself as growing on Instagram without seeing my first reel or my first content piece, right? So it's about taking that first step and then building on it and then being consistent. Consistency matters a lot in building that confidence. So if you told me 1 year back that, hey, you'll be building a business helping healers, I would be like, no. But when I had my first sales call where I spoke to a healer being like, hey, this is what I do. Do you want my help? That was evidence enough that I can do it. Because I never done a sales call before, right? And then you start building up on those skills and stacking them, and we call them like skill stacking. So you start stacking those skills, and then eventually 1 year down the line, you know and have enough to charge the price that you want and be the coach that you have always wanted to be.
Yeah. So you just have to do it one time, basically, to have that learning experience. And then for your body, in your nervous system on that level, to be like, okay, this is fine. So the one time you do it, you're going to be able to start stacking those skills is what you're saying.
Yeah. And it works both ways also. So one is that you learn and you'll become that coach eventually. And sorry for using this language, but otherwise you'll be like shit at it. But you'll know that you're shit at it. So you'll do something else, you know? So just taking that action gives you proof enough as to what you want to do.
Yeah. Because you might be like, actually, I don't like this thing either.
Correct.
So you never know until you try. And I feel that's something that's amazing with our generation, is that we are really people that are like, let's just do it. Like, let's just try. Like so many of us are becoming these not necessarily just nomads, but like we're just becoming free because we don't see limitations, and we feel like what our passions are actually possible to do. And I feel you're a really good example of that.
I'm trying to be. Honestly, I'm trying to be. I've come to realize with my content, I need to be more out there, be more brutally honest. Still, I feel like some places I sugarcoat my words to not offend people. But if I don't do that, then I feel like people don't take enough action, you know. And Instagram, social media has made us in a way where we're trying to fit into these very specific blocks. We spoke about it last time also, right? Coming into that mold, which you don't build personal brands with. Like today you have a personal brand because there's a specific way in which you talk, right? There's an intention behind how you wanted this studio to be for your podcast also. That's what your personal brand is. And if you start like falling into the mold, people are not going to be able to differentiate who you are. So that's also the beauty of it, is that personal brand or who you are needs to authentically come out in your work.
Yeah.
Because you'll be unhappy otherwise.
Yeah. I do think that comes hand in hand with having a strong belief in yourself as well.
Yeah.
But also, like you said at the start, having a supportive network just helps amplify that so much more.
100%.
Like we're really both lucky that we have supportive parents.
Yes.
But if you don't have supportive friends around you, you have to be your own biggest believer and your biggest fan, and also have some trust along the way that it's going to work out. If you really, really follow your calling, it's going to happen. And I think, we're both examples of what that looks like. So I feel really grateful for this conversation. It's been really insightful, not only for me, but I'm sure everyone listening as well. I'd love to just close with a meditation. Is there anything else you want to share?
Just a little call out to people. I feel like these podcasts are like the perfect opportunity to act as a catalyst for people in their work. So I'm gonna selfishly plug this in. Is that I'm transitioning in life. The last time I came on this podcast, I was in a very different way helping people. We're going wider, which basically means that we're helping anybody who wishes to build like a freedom business for themselves. So if you're like me, if you're someone who's traveled before and knows the beauty of being able to make your own decisions, and that's the reason you want to build a business where you can work from anywhere at any time and anything that you want, and that's always going to be like the building blocks of any work you do with me, then I just invite you in to come and have a chat. We aren't selling anything right now. We just want to understand our audience better as to what do they truly want. Like if they are sold on our idea of building such a business, what are they looking for? So just coming and having a chat, maybe I'll plug in a link for people to book a call with me. And just to know them better, we can have a chat. I would love to know your story more. I think that has a big impact to play in my work. And we can see what we can build, and till then keep hustling.
Oh, amazing. I'll have all of Hamza's links in the description box because you should definitely check him out, and his podcast as well. He's got so much to offer, and I'm really excited for whoever's going to kind of come to you and work with you. They're very lucky to do that.
Thank you.
So the final part, meditation, it's kind of a reflection on this episode and also a gratitude moment. So just close your eyes again if you feel you're able to. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Before you go back into rushing around, or maybe you are still listening to this on the go, just want you to have a moment to think about, what did you truly learn? We talked about Satya today, the yam of truthfulness. What did you learn that feels true to yourself in this moment in your life right now? Are there any things that you want to take away with you for the year that you have ahead of you? 2026 is around the corner. What is your thing that you've really wanted to do but maybe haven't felt the courage to do? What jump are you going to take into this year coming? And every episode, I just invite you to just always have a little think. can you take away more than just listening to a conversation and consuming content? What is it that you really can apply in your life? And then we can bring the hands together into Namaste in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out. And we'll just send some thanks to Hamza for coming onto this episode. And to also just think about the other things in your life that you feel grateful for right now. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you, Hamza, for joining.
Thank you for having me, Kavi.
It's really a pleasure. I hope that you have a lovely day whenever you're listening to this. And we'll see you in the next episode of House of Yoga. Namaste.